So we are here at the Orient Bay Palisades. What we're going to be doing is hiking up to the top of the cliff, looking over Highway 11. As we're doing this hike today, I have Miss Brown, Mr. Birch, and Miss Ewitz here with me, and we're going to be talking to you guys throughout this video about the changes that you see happening in the trees. You already know about photosynthesis. You know why these leaves are green. What you don't know, and you're going to learn today, is why these leaves are yellow and dying. What's happening in the fall? That is the question that we'll be answering on our hike today. So I'm standing here actually with Mr. Birch. He's going to explain some of the things that you already know, just as a refresher. So we're actually standing here with a birch tree, conveniently.
That's right, Mr. Birch here with the birch tree. So what I want to talk to you guys about is the difference between some deciduous trees and coniferous, right? Deciduous trees are our nice green leafy trees, okay? As compared to our coniferous, like the spruce here that has the needles on them. Okay? Deciduous go through a process when we get into the winter and the fall where they actually go into their hibernation process. That means the colors start to change on them. You guys have seen that for years, right? What's happening is the chlorophyll that's in these. The chlorophyll is a chemical in the leaves that convert sunlight into plant food called glucose. Okay? Glucose is a type of sugar and is the dominant food source for the trees, right? Our birch tree here is going through that process right now. I got a birch leaf that's nice and green still. That's because there's a lot of chlorophyll still in it. Now we see next to it, we have a tree that's starting to change color. It's starting to change yellow, and the leaves are going to fall to the ground pretty soon, and that'll be the hibernation process, where it can make it through the winter and start to sprout new leaves in the spring.
Which is exactly what we're going to be touching on when we get to the top of the trail. Okay, so the reason we're on this particular hike today is we're talking about why deciduous trees drop their leaves and change color. Mr. Birch earlier told you guys about the chlorophyll that is in these trees, okay? That's the chlorophyll that makes these leaves green. On this particular bush, you can see the leaves are starting to change color and they're dying, and they're about to fall off. If you look down at the lower end of the tree, you can really see that yellow coming through. Okay? The yellow has actually been there the entire time. Okay? There are 3 different pigments that are actually in these leaves. There's like a reddish pigment, a yellowy pigment, and then there's the green chlorophyll. In the summer when the sunlight's hitting these leaves, the green is what we see because it's the most dominant. It outnumbers all of the other pigments. However, when the sunlight hours start to change, and in Northern Ontario there's a drastic shift from almost 12 hours of sunlight to a very small window of sunlight that these trees get. Temperatures change. There's actually a group of cells around, I'll just pull this one leaf off, around the base of the stem. There's a group of cells that don't grow in the summer, okay? Once the chlorophyll starts to die off, these cells start to grow. And what they do is they basically act like a valve. They shut off all access from the stem to the tree. So no water gets into the leaf, and no glucose leaves, no chlorophyll leaves. The chlorophyll just slowly fades and dies away, which is why you see leaves that are some half green, half yellow, until eventually all the chlorophyll is dried up, it's dead. Then the leaf, when it's dried up completely, will just drop right off in the wind.
So essentially, when you look at a forest like this, the reason your deciduous trees go through this in the fall is because they're basically hibernating. They're trying to trap the chlorophyll inside the trunk of the tree before winter hits, so they can basically survive the cold.
Okay guys, Miss Ewitz here. So we were talking a little bit earlier about the difference between deciduous and coniferous trees. And basically, the big difference is sap. That's what makes the difference. Sap lends a certain sturdiness, a little protection to these needles, which is why needles are a little harder versus the softer, more delicate leaves on a deciduous tree. So basically, this sap is in the tree all the way to the top. It's in the needles, and it lends a hard protection that allows those needles to keep that protection from the cold. They can photosynthesize year-round, as opposed to a more delicate sort of deciduous leaf that were it to be exposed to those really cold temperatures, it would freeze, and basically it would kill the tree. So that's why they're required to drop those. When we're talking about sap, that's something you can see yourself. You can walk up to just about any coniferous tree. If it gets a cut in its wood, in its trunk, its branches, you snap something off, you'll see this sap, and it's liquid when it's in the tree. It allows it to move up and down, but when it comes out, it hardens, it forms this, you can see it, it's a protective layer. It's like when you get a cut on yourself, your blood clots and makes a scab. Sap is tree blood, it's tree scabs.
Okay guys, so you've learned about why deciduous trees drop their leaves, why coniferous trees don't drop their needles. Here is your inquiry question that I want you to find out the answer to. On the edge of this cliff, going down 450 meters, okay, there are a series of different coniferous trees growing here. What I want you to do is I want you to find out how can a tree grow on the edge of a cliff? What are the pieces that need to be in place in this environment for these trees to grow? So again, what you're doing is you're going to find out how it is that a tree can grow on the edge of a cliff. Good luck, and I look forward to your answers.